Hello and welcome to Benz Addiction. So if you have a Mercedes-Benz and your air conditioning doesn't blow cold air, please keep watching this video. And you only need some basic tools that you might be able to buy from eBay and save you thousands of dollars. So I bought this Mercedes ML350 2006 W164 from auction the other day, and I noticed there was no cold air coming from the vents. So what I did after diagnosing and trying few things, I came here and I opened this low pressure port and slightly pushed the valve with a screwdriver very carefully and very slowly. And I noticed that there was no gas inside the system. So I realized that there might be a leak. I hooked up my very cheap manifold system that I bought from eBay for $25, and using my air compressor that is only to provide 90 psi of pressure, I pressurized the system using few hoses and regular clamps. So here I had about 90 psi and it took about a day to lose 30 psi. That is enough pressure and enough bad leak for you to go ahead and check it with a regular foam coming from a detergent or hand wash foam. So it is the best to find one of these hand wash that gives you a good amount of foam and that's easy to use on any connection. So I tried that and I was kind of disappointed because this leak is not a big leak, honestly. So I tried everywhere, including the condenser and some of the connections and the dryer down there. Of course, there are different ways of tackling this issue. You might also use the UV dye and pressurize the system using the gas and make the system work for a day and find out the leak. But that is going to be a bit expensive. So I use the traditional way of using pressure and foam maker to see if I can see and spot any bubble. And then using this foam maker, I accidentally found the leak coming from the dryer connection down there. I'll show you in a second. So if you have a W164 or any Mercedes-Benz that leaks air conditioning gas, you might be able to find it easily with this system. So now I go ahead and remove this little grill from here to see what can I do next. So here is the small grill, the lower grill that came out using one of these prying tools, and there are few clips around. I think there are 8 of them actually that you need to remove using one of these tools. This is 2 hours later. I have taken the bumper successfully and finally the bolt is out. Okay, here is the guilty seal over here. Actually, let's say seals, the green ones. And here is the dryer out. So at this point, need to be very careful with dust and particles. Need to be as clean as possible and don't let anything to go in the system. All we want to do is now replace those seals and put back everything. So I had these nice air conditioning seals already. I had a kit and there you go. It really fits very well. So all we need to do is lubricate this one just a little bit. You need to use air conditioning lubrication. You don't want anything frozen inside the system, any oil or any liquid. So that needs to be lubricated by a little bit of air conditioning oil or fluid. And these green ones are really firm now and not flexible at all, and they don't have any meat anymore because they are beaten in the last 18 years due to the heat and coldness, they have shrunk. Okay, after torquing that 13 millimeter, which is a more proper bolt for that dryer, I know that I'm not going to tighten that excessively. I torqued it to 13 Newton meter, and that's enough to hold it tight enough. And here I have 100 psi pressure, so I pressurized the system again, and now I'm going to use foam to check if I have successfully solved the leaky connection or not. Okay, here is some foam around that connection area, and that will show me in few minutes if that leaks or not. And then if I don't get any leak from this area, dryer area, this connection, I will go ahead and keep this pressure in the system for a day. If that holds up 100 psi, that will tell me that my system has no leak. Otherwise, I have to search more. But what I know, this was an obvious leak that seems to be okay now. And one more point, around this area underneath the radiator and condenser, there are lots of crap, leaves, debris that you need to get rid of. And if you still can't find the leak, try using foam around the compressor, pulley, and the compressor, and back of the compressor there is also one plug, so you need to check that too for leak. Here I found a little one on the other side of the condenser. And then if there is any leak for the on the other side of the condenser, like the one we have over here, and I already replaced the O-ring, which was an orange one, with a black one, a brand new flexible one. So I'm not recommending this procedure and method to anyone, but this actually worked for me. I'm not recommending because this is dangerous, especially you cannot do this in a confined place. But basically I couldn't find any leak with bubbles over here with the conventional method, but I'm getting a very good result from this tiny device. The leak detector, it basically works perfectly. So I do have leak from this valve here and the low pressure valve as well. So next I'm going to replace those. And I couldn't find any other leak inside the car, around the compressor whatsoever. No leak at all except two valves, the high pressure and low pressure valves. Okay, at this stage I have vacuumed the system using this little pump. It took 2 minutes using this pump to create 30 psi of vacuum. I'm not sure if it's psi or mercury, something like that. But that has been there for 5-6 hours, as you can see. So I'm happy with how it looks. It's actually, I think the system does not have any leak at all. So I have replaced that valve stem. I have replaced this valve stem, both of them which had some sort of leak. You can buy one of these kits from eBay and you can easily replace them. That helps a lot. Also, I suggest using one of these gas detectors, gas leak detectors devices. They work perfectly. they can show you the very, very smallest leak that bubble and conventional leak detectors cannot show you. So now I'm ready to use this Hychill. It is with sealant and with UV dye, and it's actually refrigerant. So we are able to use these refrigerants in Australia. Otherwise, we cannot use R134 because that needs a license. But this one is neutral to the environment and doesn't damage the environment. So I'm going to use this. This is 200 grams. I'm going to add some more of Hychill later after I finish this bottle. Okay, so now what we need to do is release this gas just a little bit by pushing the needle down. I think that should be enough. I can hear that. And then I'm releasing this needle over here to get rid of the air. So now I've got less air in the system, which is good. And now what I need to do is shake it like that and open the valve very slowly to let the system to suck all the, and as you can see, the liquid, which is fluorescent, is going in, and I'm pressurizing the system slowly. So this is only 200 grams of Hychill, which is equivalent of 400 cc of, or maybe 450 cc of 134. I'm going to continue to put all of this in the system, and then I will go ahead turn on the aircon system. Because now that we have more than 80 psi, I think now I should be good to go ahead and turn on the aircon. Okay, now let's start up the engine. So the temperature, outside temperature, is around 28 degrees now. All the way to the cool and all the way to the cool. Okay, it's now going down in temperature, which is great. So the low side should be somewhere between 15 to 35 psi and high side 150 to 225 psi. So I've got 30 psi here, which seems to be the sweet spot. It's important to leave the aircon on for an hour, especially if your aircon hasn't been working for a while. That lubricates the seals, making sure that your system won't leak. The aircon is blowing and it's very chilly here. It's great to use one of these fluorescent type leak detecting with oil gas. So if at any time in future we get any leak, that would definitely help with the UV light. I think I have achieved what I needed to. I have put a lot of effort and energy on this aircon system, which had multiple leaks. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching, liking, subscribing. Please watch my other videos on ML CLK and R129 and other Mercedes-Benz windows. Thank you and have a great day.
Let's go.